A woman is disrespected in a luxury car dealership, and the next day her husband's Rolls-Royce arrives to teach a lesson. A woman named Lucy Grant, dressed in simple, unassuming clothes, entered a luxury car dealership in the heart of the city. Her eyes wandered over the expensive vehicles, finally landing on a glistening $3 million car. She was immediately approached by the salesman, a man named Simon Hawkins, who cast a dismissive glance over her and waved her toward the used car lot. "The good stuff is over there," Simon said, his tone cold and condescending, not bothering to hide his disdain. Lucy, feeling the weight of his sneering disrespect, simply turned and left the showroom without a word. The next day, a $28 million Rolls-Royce arrived at the dealership, gliding slowly into the parking lot. The same salespeople, including Simon, stared in astonishment as a man in a tailored suit stepped out of the car. Lucy's husband, Antonio Grant, a technology entrepreneur who was a billionaire. The air in the dealership changed instantly. Lucy, a dedicated humanitarian and founder of the Grant Foundation, had spent years building opportunities for underprivileged communities. She knew the struggle of being judged before her worth was even considered. Her father had been a soldier who dreamed of owning a luxury car like the one she had wanted to see. Today, she was here to honor his memory. Instead of reacting with anger, Lucy had felt a deep desire to change the system that made people like her feel out of place. She wasn't here to impress anyone or to be validated. She wanted to show the world that people who looked like her belonged in these spaces as much as anyone else. When Lucy walked into the showroom, she was again met with Simon, who didn't even try to hide his surprise. "Oh, you're back," he said with a slight sneer. "Look, the good stuff is by appointment only." But Lucy, unfrazzled and poised, simply said, "I'd like to see the car up close." Simon, with his smug attitude, gave her a brochure with options more suited to her type. "If you're serious about buying something, maybe you should start with something more within your range," he suggested. Instead of bending to the pressure, Lucy took the brochure, tucked it away in her bag, and turned to leave. She knew this wasn't just about her. It was about everyone who had been made to feel like they didn't belong. She wasn't just a woman with an idea. She was an advocate, and she would not be broken. The following day, Antonio Grant walked back into the dealership. But this time, he was not alone. The sales team, including Simon, watched in silence as Antonio, wearing a polished charcoal suit, approached Simon. "I'm here for the Aston Martin Valkyrie," Antonio said, his voice smooth but assertive. Simon, still staring in amazement, greeted Antonio with unusual warmth. "Mr. Grant, of course, let me show you around." But Antonio, not missing a beat, turned to Simon. "Yesterday you told my wife she couldn't even see this car. I'd like to know why." Simon, now beginning to feel the weight of his actions, tried to make excuses, but Antonio cut him off. "There's no excuse for discrimination. You made a decision based on who you thought my wife was. I want to know why." The dealership's atmosphere grew heavy. The sales team, uncomfortable with the conversation, fidgeted. Simon, struggling to find a way out, became uneasy under Antonio's gaze. "If this happens again, you won't just lose my business," Antonio said calmly. "But I'll take my recommendations elsewhere, and you'll be facing much bigger consequences." With that, Simon's smirk fell, and Antonio ordered the sales transaction to be handed over to a new salesperson. The deeply embarrassed Simon knew he had been caught in his actions. As Antonio and Lucy left the dealership, Lucy felt a mixture of satisfaction and resolve. She wasn't here to make Simon suffer. She just wanted him to understand, to learn. And she had made her point. 3 weeks later, Simon found himself volunteering at a charity event for the Grant Foundation, among the very same children Lucy had dedicated her life to helping. As he worked with a young boy on a robotics project, the boy gently guided him through the process with patience. It was here, in this humble environment, that Simon realized the true value of inclusion and the cost of his own prejudice. Lucy watched from a distance, arms crossed, with a slight smile. She knew Simon was beginning to understand, in his own way, what it meant to truly see people. "You did well," she said quietly as she approached him. Simon, now aware of the lesson he had learned, simply nodded. The journey was far from over, but he had taken the first step.